Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today for a very special and exciting American Cruise Lines webinar. My name is Anna. I'm an Industry Relations Manager here at CLIA, and I'm going to just quickly go through some housekeeping before introducing our presenter. This webinar will run about 20 minutes with time for questions at the end. Please feel free to type your questions into the questions module of the webinar, and we'll get to them at the conclusion of the presentation. This webinar is being recorded and will be posted on CLIA's YouTube channel, which is CLIA Global. And with that, it is my pleasure to introduce our presenter, Caitlin O'D. Caitlin is the Business Development Coordinator with American Cruise Lines, where she assists travel advisors in learning more about the product so you can build your business with ACL while working closely with BDMs and a groups coordinator. Caitlin has been with the company for 5 years and started on the sales team as a cruise specialist. She is located at the corporate headquarters in Guilford, Connecticut. And with that, take it away, Caitlin.
Thank you so much, Anna. And thank you again, everybody. Thank you all to travel advisors. I really appreciate you taking some time out of your very busy days to learn about our brand new ships. I am very excited to be introducing you to the American Melody, the American Symphony, and the American Serenade. So the Melody actually had her inaugural sailing on the Mississippi last month, and the Symphony and the Serenade were just announced at the beginning of August. They're going to be expected at the end of 2022. So this is going to bring us to a total of 6 new modern riverboats, and we're the only cruise line in the U.S. to offer modern riverboats for the Mississippi and the Columbia and Snake River. Each of these ships carries 175 passengers, and all are built at our shipyard in Chesapeake, Maryland, Chesapeake Shipbuilding in Salisbury, Maryland. And as I said, that's where all of our riverboats and small coastal cruisers are built. I'd like to note that the fact that we're entirely built and operated out of the US is a huge selling point for our clientele. It does help with price objections you might encounter as well, but it's just important to note, especially during this, kind of frustrating time. This is an entirely American operated company, so folks really appreciate the opportunity to kind of give back to the American economy in that way. So I'm going to be showing you some gorgeous images of the Melody, but briefly, I just want to mention some amenities that I don't have images of or you can't see on board. We have complimentary Wi-Fi, breakfast room service. You can enjoy that on those private balconies, elevator access to all decks, and the back porch cafe, which is where you can get snacks and burgers for an alternative dining option. And we also have a putting green on the top deck as well. So I'm going to start by introducing you, to these staterooms to begin with. All of the staterooms on our fleet are outside facing. We don't have any inside facing staterooms on any ships with American Cruise Lines. The staterooms are an average of 300 square feet, which is very spacious and comfortable, especially for those who are used to river cruising in Europe. Most staterooms do have a sliding glass door, but we also have a door with a stateroom that has a door and 2 windows out to the balcony, and I'll be showing you that shortly. All staterooms have a private balcony on board the new modern riverboats, and it's important to note that balcony is completely private, so no one's milling around in front of your client's view. This is a better look at that gorgeous balcony there. This is the AAM stateroom. It would be the 3rd deck on the Melody. It's 350 square feet, and here you can see the sliding glass door that leads out to the balcony. I included a handout here of the deck plan of the Melody. It might just help you to see where everything is. We are a little bit more unusual as we have built our ships to accommodate our specific clientele. So I just recommend you kind of pull that up so you can take a look at what I'm seeing here. So as I said, this is on the 3rd deck, and this is the sliding glass door that leads out to the balcony. All staterooms have a dresser, a night table, individual climate control, a safe, a Keurig, satellite TV, and a DVD player. And here is that category AAR with the door out to the balcony as opposed to the sliding glass door. And you can see you're not really sacrificing very much view at all, unless somebody was, kind of crouching down and looking out the window. Which I think is unlikely. So you still have the gorgeous view, and you can see those nice blackout curtains we have just in case folks want to close the curtains to black out the twinkling lights at our ports of embarkation there. And as I said, this is an AAR stateroom. It's 275 square feet. This is the smallest double occupancy stateroom aboard our modern riverboats. And these staterooms are on the main deck on the opposite of the dining room. I'll occasionally hear some concern from advisors about the noise from passengers walking back to their staterooms, especially with these main deck staterooms. But as you can see, we've built the ship so that the stateroom is sort of separated from where folks would be kind of milling around after dinner time. So it's really a thoughtful design. It's a spacious sanctuary in which to relax after a day of discovery in each port of call. So, and again, this is a clientele of semi-retired to retired folks. So there are not, raucous crowds carousing late into the evening regardless. That's a nice relaxed affair. So one thing that really sets us apart is that we do have single passenger staterooms. You can see this right here. It doesn't really look like a kind of reduction in size. It's a very spacious stateroom. Still has that gorgeous balcony. It's the same size as the other stateroom balconies. Clients booked in these staterooms do not have to pay a single supplement rate. These staterooms are priced for single passengers. This is very important. No single supplement rate in the single staterooms. But it is important to remember there are only 5 of these on board of the Melody, so you gotta plan ahead. They're very, very popular. This particular clientele will cruise a lot of times. Single ladies who want their own stateroom. There will be a lot of groups of single women. So I do strongly recommend if you have a single passenger who's considering cruising with us, please do plan. My guess is at this point about 2 years ahead of time. Better to be safe than sorry. And here I've saved the best for last. This is the grand suite aboard the Melody, and it's 650 square feet. As you can see, it's a spacious room with a longer balcony than the other staterooms, and this room divider right in the middle here will kind of differentiate it. All passengers in the grand suites and the veranda suites. The veranda suites are larger, but they don't have the little divider. Veranda suites are 405 square feet. All passengers in both of those category suites have an elevated experience on board. They have a mini fridge stocked with juice, waters, white and red wine replenished throughout the week, sweet treats that are delivered each evening, like mini cheesecakes, chocolate covered strawberries, that kind of thing. And then a bottle of premium champagne will be delivered to the stateroom at some point during the cruise. And fruit and cheese will be available upon arrival as well to welcome them. Grand Suite passengers alone will enjoy double sinks in the bathroom, along with bathrobes as well. And we keep an eye on the guests who are in these staterooms. We really, although everybody's getting the exceptional personalized service that we're known for with American Cruise Lines, the Grand Suite passengers and Veranda Suite passengers get just a little bit of extra attention on board as well. So you can see here, this is one of our grand suite bathrooms. You see the double sink. Regular bathrooms will just have one sink, but everything else will look basically the same, just a little bit smaller. All of the bathrooms will have a walk-in shower, as you can see. They have a hair dryer, toiletries, and grab rails. We do, again, have a more mature clientele, so optional amenities are available to be added, like a shower bench. Just speak to your cruise specialist at the time of booking because we do have accessible staterooms, but because again, we've built these ships ourselves to the specifications that this clientele might need. A lot of times I find that clients who might feel they need special accommodation will be very comfortable in the regular staterooms. But we have lots of detail when you're booking, so please just ask your cruise specialist. They'd be happy to walk you through what might be the best way to get your clients on board. And now as we venture out to the rest of the ship, I'm going to start with our spacious dining room. So we have open seated dining with American Cruise Lines. You can see there are no just two top tables here. We really want you to kind of mingle and mix with everybody. And that's really something that folks who maybe have mostly cruised on the oceans will kind of be a little bit apprehensive about, but we find people very excited to enjoy the opportunity to kind of meet other people on board after they kind of get used to it. After everybody kind of warms up, there's only 175 passengers aboard. Everybody's sort of like-minded cruisers. These folks typically will have also cruised in Europe. They're looking to have a more enriching journey. And as such, they tend to, kind of thaw out, meet people. And then we find people cruising with, other folks they've met on board with us over and over and over again. It's a really great atmosphere with a lot of camaraderie, very warm. So you can see that sort of exemplified here with the decor. And here we have the Sky Lounge. And this is where you really start to see the difference between these ships and say our paddle wheelers, if you're very familiar with us. The Sky Lounge is just below this gorgeous designed skylight illuminating the space where guests will mingle and enjoy coffee or snacks, which are available 24 hours a day. And really, I need to pause on this because we are very, very excited about this new decor on the Melody. It's really, really exciting. As you can see, this is a more contemporary style, but still very classic with sort of the nautical theme, as we like to do. So this is our spacious river lounge, and this affords guests stunning views of surrounding scenery. It's also where our guest lecturer and onboard entertainment will take place. A regional expert will be brought on board to lead informal presentations, open discussions, and activities that will bring local history, nature, and culture to life through their knowledge and passion for American heritage. These specialists, naturalists, and historians also attend excursions to give our guests behind the scenes insight into some of America's most treasured destinations. Additionally, entertainers throughout the cruise will allow guests to explore the rich origins and traditions of America's legendary rivers and waterways. So these performances and lectures are going to take place in this space. It has a more cafe lounge feel to it. So it's not kind of a loud in your face performance again that folks might be used to on the 2000 plus river cruises. It's much more subdued and relaxed. And a lot of times, even for the musical entertainment, there's an audience participation component. It's very, very intimate. It's a really great feel, perfect for the clientele. So I'm going to quickly highlight a few of our midship lounges because these do get quite a few questions for folks who are looking to book with us. And I'll scroll through, you can see they're basically identical just with different decor. They're going to have maps. You can see the chess game in the previous one and laptops here. Folks will come for a game of bridge, very popular on board, especially with the clientele. And with the maps, you can track your progress along the river. I love placing clients in the stateroom because they're not having a person on one side of their wall. You know, it's a quieter person most of the time. Again, because of the clientele, people are not staying up late and carousing. If you do have a group that needs a small meeting space, as you can see, pardon me, I apologize about that. You can see that this would be an option for that. And we do also have larger meeting spaces for groups if you need. Okay, and this is something we're super excited about. This is the Skywalk, and where the Skywalk is up on the top here. The bottom here is right outside of the Sky Lounge that I showed you a minute ago. And if you can see with that door and the little window on the left, that is the back porch lounge. That's where the cafe would be, where you can get nachos and burgers, lighter fare as an additional option during lunch and dinner. It wasn't open there, so I wasn't really able to demonstrate, but this is where folks will kind of sit and watch the gorgeous passing scenery. And here's another shot of the Skywalk. So really, really beautiful, as you can see, and folks can enjoy the Sundeck. And somewhere behind here is where the putting green would be on the Melody. So real quick, I just want to go through the itineraries that we'll be doing on the modern riverboats. We offer many fascinating itineraries on the Mississippi, all the way from New Orleans to St. Louis and to St. Paul. Most popular are our 7-night Lower Mississippi, which is a one-way from New Orleans to Memphis or the reverse, and our Upper Mississippi River Cruise, which is another 7-night from St. Louis to St. Paul or the reverse. For those looking to do the full river, we have two options: the 21 night complete Mississippi River Cruise and a 14-night Grand Heartland. Alternatively, we also offer other cruises in the region, the 10-night Ohio River Cruise, which goes from St. Louis to Pittsburgh. And we have a brand new itinerary, which takes clients from Memphis, Tennessee to Nashville or the reverse. And that's going to immerse your clients in the area that birthed that iconic American music. Really exciting opportunity there. We also cruise the Columbia and Snake River on the new modern riverboats as well. Most popular is the 7-night Columbia and Snake River Cruise, which is a one-way from Portland, Oregon to Clarkston, Washington, or the reverse. We also offer a 4-night Highlights of the Columbia River Cruise. That's a round trip out of Portland, and our 10-night Northwest Pioneers Cruise, which is essentially a longer version of the Columbia and Snake River Cruise. It'll just give your clients a couple of extra days in some of those ports of call. So before I wrap up here, I just wanted to introduce and kind of remind you of the amenities that American Cruise Lines does offer. Of course, gratuities are included. Folks do not need to tip on board. For all of the cruises that I went over, anybody who is booked on a new modern river cruise will get the complimentary pre-cruise hotel stay. So regardless of whether or not they're cruising on the Columbia River or the Mississippi, they're going to get that pre-cruise complimentary stay. We will take care of that too. There's nothing you need to do. When they're booked, it's automatically put on their booking. Of course, I mentioned the onboard entertainment and guest lecturer. And this is another one that I love to mention. Top shelf cocktails and wine and beer are really available throughout the time. There is not, a charge for anything like this. So it's important to note. I've heard over the past couple of years that folks want to buy a bottle of wine for passengers on board. They're getting this wine already. My suggestion is you could pay for one of the excursions. You can book those excursions prior to the premium excursions are anywhere from $30 to $70 per person. So it's not a bad idea to get one of those premium excursions on there, and then you can show your appreciation for your clients that way if that's something you'd like to do. Because like I said, plenty of cocktails, top shelf cocktails, and wine and beer. Typically, we're kind of catering that to the region as well. We're going into each port and trying to find, especially for the Columbia River, local wineries and breweries to supply. And I mentioned, pardon me, I mentioned our open seated dining and onboard Wi-Fi as well. So that's going to be me. If you have any questions, please feel free to let me know. Happy to answer any questions you have.
Perfect. Thank you so much. We do have one question, and you covered it, I think, at the beginning, but Richard is wondering how exactly you accommodate those with any special needs. So maybe you can speak to mobility needs or dietary needs, all of that.
I sure can, absolutely. So I'll start with mobility needs. So as I said, and I worked on the sales floor for a little while. So most of the time, I would, if somebody is able to cruise and kind of do excursions, take, short walks, that kind of thing, we typically were able to accommodate those passengers in the regular staterooms because they are larger. That being said, if you do need, say, a raised commode, shower bench, there's adjustments we can make to the actual stateroom as well. If you need benches next to the bed, there's quite a bit we can do. On the actual excursions, you do want to let us know if folks need a lift for the bus, if folks are wheelchair bound, because we do have our own buses that we actually take people to and from their excursions, and we can just make sure that lift is prepared for your clients. Very easy adjustment to make. So we do have accessible staterooms as well. The biggest distinction there is the width of the door. So that's where I'm sort of saying, there's so much space in the stateroom. Most of the time people are fine in the stateroom, especially because we can add so many accommodations to the stateroom. And we do quite frequently, to be honest. As I said, this is a more mature clientele. Of late, they are skewing younger, but that means we've already kind of mastered the more mature clientele. So very ready and willing to accommodate them. As far as any dietary restrictions, all of our meals are prepared fresh daily. We're going into each port of call to source local ingredients. So that being said, it's very easy to adjust the menu. What I'd love for you to do, regardless of whether or not this is a dietary restriction or, sort of an ability concern, you got to let your cruise specialist know. We'll put a note in your client's folio, and that will go with them through all of their cruises with American Cruise Lines. And we have a great return rate, so it makes things a little easier on you, especially for those dietary restrictions. Say somebody's gluten-free, we'll put that note in your folio, and then the chef will be alerted at the beginning of the cruise. If you do have somebody who's very nervous, maybe they have a more severe allergy and want to speak to the chef, we can absolutely arrange that. We understand that it's, kind of anxiety inducing to leave your cooking up to someone else if you are someone who has a more severe allergy. So we give you the opportunity to speak with the chef, assuage any fears, and you can enjoy your cruise.
Okay, got it. Our next question is from Nicole, who is wondering if there's a dress code on board or for any events.
No dress code. It's resort casual. So like for dinner, I think we're just recommending that jeans aren't the best idea for dinner, but like I said, it's resort casual. What I'd like to say is say, dress like you're going to a baptism or like or church, you know what I mean? Like a slightly nicer restaurant, but you don't have to get all dolled up we don't have any formal nights on board at all. The kind of look and sort of feel that we're going for is country club casual. We want people to be relaxed.
Okay, got it. And it looks like this will be our last question from Martin, who is wondering if you can speak to your group's policies.
Oh, I absolutely can. I'm actually in the office with my group's coordinator here. So and I can actually connect you to her if you'd like. Her name is Sarah Smith. But we do have a group's policy. It's pretty straightforward. It's a $600 off discount. And any group counts as a group, any size. You can have just a couple of people. But the goal is to reach 10 passengers. The 11th passenger would get a complimentary tour conductor berth. So if it's a double occupancy stateroom, that would be 50% off that stateroom. At the 25th passenger, you get the other half of that stateroom. So you're reaching that 11 passenger and 25 passenger goal. And we find people very, very easily able to reach that goal. And as I said, it is the $600 discount off of the price of the cruise. You're locking in that pricing because we do see price increases about, I would say, 3 times annually. So you're just making sure that your clients aren't going to experience that price increase. The real value of the groups department is that Sarah is walking you through every step of the way. She's going to tailor the experience to the needs of your group. And I mentioned that the bridge and let me see if I'm going to go back to the lounges because this is where the action happens for our groups departments. We have a lot of groups of older folks. We actually have a lot of bridge clubs who will come on board with us. So Sarah will arrange that folks can have this space for their club. For the Columbia River specifically, we have a lot of wine groups because we do have a wine themed cruise on the Columbia River. So she will tailor that experience to those groups specifically as well. We had one cruise, not on the modern riverboats, but on the southeast. Folks just wanted to golf the whole day, and we worked with the travel agent. They arranged most of the golfing outings, but we helped them with all the transportation, everything. So if folks just want to kind of cruise through the region and do their own thing, we can assist them with that. There's really very little limit to what we can do for you in the groups department. And like I said, please do give Sarah Smith a call. I can give you her phone number. Bear with me. And okay, so the phone number is 888-458-6027. Please do give her a call. She'd be happy to assist you.
Okay, perfect. I hope everybody wrote that down. Thank you so much, Caitlin, for all of that wonderful information. These pictures are stunning. And thank you, everyone, for joining us.
Thank you so much. Thank you all, everyone. I appreciate it.
Bye. Have a great rest of your week.
Bye-bye.